everyone, Arlene here. So good to see you again. Well, I'm here today to show you how to make a burlap Christmas wreath. And I have all of the pieces and parts that I need to make this wreath. And I'm actually making this wreath to use as a demo because, as some of you might know, my daughter Kristen is a teacher, and a lady at her school has invited me to the school to teach some of those teachers how to make a burlap wreath. Well, was I ever honored when she asked me to do that. I hope some of you ladies are watching, and I'll see you next week if you are. By the way, I just wanted to let you guys know too that the wreath that I'm making today, I'm going to be donating it to my daughter's school. And they are going to raffle it off at a fundraiser, and the proceeds will go toward their Relay for Life team, which, as you guys probably know, supports the American Cancer Society. So I want to make it pretty so that we can make them a lot of money, hopefully. Fingers crossed there. So anyway, as I said, we're going to make a burlap wreath, but I'm going to do it in a Christmas theme. So I wanted to let you guys know all of the supplies that I have. First of all, you will need one skein of burlap, and this is called a burlap runner, and it is 18 inches by 15 feet, and you will just need one for this wreath. First of all, I should tell you about the wreath, I use a wreath form like this. It's called a work wreath. I got this in the Christmas section in Hobby Lobby for 40% off. And I like to use these because they already have the chenille ties installed. I find when I install my own or put my own on that the burlap kind of slips and slides. This type of chenille holds it really nice and tight. So there's your work wreath, 16-inch work wreath. And then as an accent, I picked up this red burlap in the shorter version, 5.5 inches by 15 feet. And you'll see I'm going to be layering these two on top of one another as we go around. I also picked up some wire-edged burlap ribbon. It is 2.5 inches by 30 feet. I very highly doubt I'll use this whole roll, but I'll use a good bit of it. I'll make a pretty good sized bow, and I will show you guys how I make the bow too. And then I just picked up a few other things that I'm not totally sure I'm going to use all of this, but we'll see what ends up on the wreath as we go. This is a metal snowman. Then I have some candy canes, and they're red and burlap colored. And these are just ornaments, to tell you the truth. They're tree ornaments. And I'll just cut off the ornament. They just have a little piece of twine up there. I'll cut that off, and nobody will know it's ornaments except for you guys and me. And then I have a few more ornaments, and we'll see where these end up. Again, I'm not sure I'm going to use all of these, but we'll see how many end up. I'm making this just as much for myself as I am as a demonstration, so that once I get there, I can just zip right through it at this little class, so that I'm not like hemming and hawing around and wondering, oh, well, maybe I should put this here or there. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to just go right through it and know what I'm doing. So anyway, I picked up 4 of these. So we'll see, not sure. Then I picked up some poinsettias, some red poinsettias, and these are really cool because they have a clip on the back. Check it out. So I will probably clip them and glue them. And I also have some picks, just some pine cones and pine tough picks. And we'll see where they end up. Hi there, I'm back. I'm going to try to show you how to make a craft bow. Here I am right here, and hopefully all you can see is my hands, and I will be able to explain this to you guys. I'm going to be making a tiered bow, one that is smaller at the top and graduate, and it gets bigger as you go down. And then we're going to leave 3 long ties on it, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that once we get it on the wreath. So here we go. Take the end and you fold it towards you. And then you come down here on the other end, on the other side, and you overlap what you just folded towards yourself. You overlap them. And then you pinch them together. And then you take, this is the long piece that is attached to the bolt still. and you want to turn it under itself and pinch it together with and hold it with your other hand. And then you're going to start making your graduated loops. I'm going to go out one side, and you're going to make this loop just about a ½ an inch longer than the loop you just made. Grab it from behind and pinch it together. Hold it tight. You might get cramps in the hand that you're using to hold it with, but just hang in there. Doesn't take long. This is a really nice ribbon to work with because it's two-sided ribbon, so you don't have to do any twisting to bring the right side up to the top. So this is actually the easiest kind of bow you can make. Anyway, here we come to this side and make your other loop, again making it just about a ½ an inch longer than the loop you just made, and it will match the other side. Pinch it together, and then we're going to come out this way again. I'm not sure how many loops I'm going to make. I want to make this a pretty good size bow though, so I'm probably going to keep going for a little while here. And make it a ½ an inch longer on this side too. And pinch it together and hold it with that hand, hold it tight. And the next loop, again, about a ½ an inch longer. And you want to come back out to it's going to naturally come to the side where you want to head to next. It's not like you have to think about that. It does that for you. And here we are coming out this side, again, ½ an inch longer about. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops. That'll probably do it, I think. Might do a couple more just because I want to. I'm going to make them about the same size though. And come out this side. Hold it really tight, and even my hand is cramping. Then, as I said, I want to make a couple of really long loops because I might go up and around the wreath and down and around the wreath with these. So I want to make them really long. So pull it out. Well, I would say from your nose to the tip of your hand, about a yardstick worth of length. And just pinch it together. And that will give me 1, 2, and 3 big long tails. And just cut it off. Maybe. Take your pipe cleaner, and you're going to feed your pipe cleaner over your thumb, to the side of your thumb, and then wrap it right around to the other side. Pull it around the top, and pull it as tight as you can, and twist. Anyway, there is a craft bow. I hope that will help you guys make one of your own. And off we go to the wreath making part of the video now. I'll be back. Alrighty, I'm back. Let's get started making our wreath. A couple of things I wanted to mention first is that I have no formal training about how to make a burlap wreath. I just taught myself how to do it. So I've seen some people turn them this way and put the burlap on this way, which would make sense because some of the accent pieces might, that might help to bring them out to the front. But I find that with all the stuff I put on mine, it's easier if I have a way to nestle them in, if that makes sense. So this is the way I do mine. And as you can see, I've pulled all of my chenille ties up, and that is easier to work with them that way so that they don't get tucked underneath the burlap as we make our way around. And here we go. I'm going to start by unrolling the whole piece, the whole skein of burlap, and tuff it together. And I start on the outer ring, and I leave myself enough of a tuff that I can tuck between and behind. And I just put it right there in the twist tie and give it a couple twists and then tuck that behind. I do not measure my tufts between the chenille ties. I would estimate it's about 10 to 12 inches. I like a big flouncy wreath, So I tend to make my loops pretty big. So I'm going to work my way all the way around the outer edge. I'm going to speed this up a little bit just for time purposes so that you guys are not sitting here being bored as I work my way around this wreath. But I'll show you a couple more before I put it into fast forward. Again, say 10 to 12 inches, back it up and smush it in to the chenille tie. Here we go. So there's the last one. And here is where I started, right here. So I simply am going to add the burlap right in on top of where I started. And I'm going to point the burlap toward the inner ring because that's where I'm heading next. No cutting, you just transition right over to the inner ring. And it might have helped that I've taken the tag off of it. And here we go. Just transition right over. Actually, I'm going to come down here to this one and start working your way around the inner ring in the same fashion. I'll be back when I'm back around. Coming to the end of the inner ring, just a couple more tufts to go, and I end it like I started it by just tucking it right in to this last. I ended by piling it right on top of where I started, leaving myself enough. I mean, I'll tell you, I just made it around here. I'm going to pooch that to the back. There we go. And there we go. That's the beginning of the burlap. Okie dokie, I'm back. Next thing I'm going to do is to take this red burlap. And I'm going to try something different. I've never tried this on one of my burlap wreaths before, but I'm going to try it on this one. Done it on a deco mesh wreath that I made before, but never on a burlap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around this wreath on the outer ring and then on the inner ring with this red burlap and put it right on top of the burlap color burlap. And make loops just like I did, but I think it will provide us with a bit of a layering effect. So we'll see. I don't think I'll need more than this one roll of burlap because it's 15 feet and the brown burlap was 15 feet and I made it around twice with that. So hopefully I'll be able to make it around with this red too. We'll see. All right, I'm going to speed it up here until I get back around on the outer. This one. And again, I'm going to pile it right on top of the chenille tie. I'm going to point it toward the center because that's where I'm heading next, toward the inner ring. And I don't want you guys to worry about the chenille ties, by the way. I know you can kind of see them now, but when we have everything else on the wreath, you won't be able to see them. They kind of just disappear. It's kind of magic like that. So anyway, here we are. We're going to transfer over to the inner ring and start making, I'm going to start making my way around the inner ring. I'll be back when I get around. And here I come, back around. As you can see, that's how much I have left. So I made it with plenty to spare, thank goodness. Tie it in there, and then I'm going to end see right there's where I started, so I'm going to pile it right on top of that. Twist it in there. Leave a little tail for tucking, and then tuck that right behind. And there we go. I think I'm going to like this. This is starting out to be pretty. Next thing, I'm going to figure out how to put that snowman on here. Alrighty, I'm back, and Chris, my husband, helped me out a little bit with this snowman. Here's the little snowman that I'm going to attach to this wreath next. And what he did is he took a knife actually, and kind of burrowed a couple of holes in the top of his head. And then this actually, I didn't even realize it when I bought it, but it's actually a candle. You can put a little tea light in there and the little container there to hold the tea light, and made it so that I can tie this snowman on the wreath. Alrighty, I am taking those wires that Chris provided for me, and I am feeding them through, and we'll tie this little guy on the inner ring on the top and on the bottom. I want him, and I'll fix the burlap back around him once I get him tied on. Not going to go anywhere, which is what I want. And I will work and mess with that and get it and fix it until I like how it looks. But for now, the next thing to go on is the bow. So let's grab up the bow. And what I ended up doing was I wanted to have two ties coming at the bottom and out of the top. So I just snipped another piece of ribbon and I added it right into the pipe cleaner. And I want the bow to start right here, and I'm going to attach it to the outer ring of the wreath form. Okay, got the bow all tied on there, and of course it needs a little bit of fluffing and fixing, but what I'm going to do is take two of the tails, I'm going to tuck them together, and I'm going to pinch them, and then I'm going to tie them in to this twist tie on the top here. And I'm going to tuck them one more time, and I'm going to pinch them together and tie them into that twist tie. And I'm going to come out the bottom of the bow, and I'm going to tuck it together and put one tuck there, and kind of just eyeballing it here. Let's just bring it on right here. And we're just going to let them come right here and have little ties coming out right there. I'll show you how to cut some little ties. There we go. And again, I've got to tweak it and fix it and fool around with it until I get it the way I like it to look. In the end, I think we'll like what it looks like. And in order to make little points on your tails or on your ties, fold them together and go to, you see what I'm doing? Go right to the edge and cut at an angle. And that gives you 2 points. I've been tweaking and fiddling around with the bow, trying to get it just right. And I've added, just clipped on the poinsettias, and I just have that sitting in there for now. So now what I'm going to do is glue on the candy canes. There, there, and down here. And then I'm going to decide if we need, after I get that done, I'm going to decide if I need some of this stuff. I don't think I do though, but let's get these glued on. And my hot glue gun here. And just going to glue these right on. There we go. When I get everything on here, I really might just put a dab of glue under each one of these poinsettias. Just to make sure they, well, I don't think, sometimes you have to stop, you know? Sometimes less is more. And I think this is one of those times. This puppy back up here. I think that is just about done. Stand back from it a little bit. Oop, he's a little crooked there. That's just how I have it hanging on the wreath stand. I'm so picky. I gotta stop being so picky, don't I? I think I like it. I really do. I think I like how it turned out, and I think whoever wins this hopefully will enjoy it for many Christmases to come. So I'm going to call this done, and well, look at me, I'm still picking at it, and I'll probably still pick at it, but I think we're going to call it done. Until next time, y'all take good care. Bye-bye now.